Today's movie is Carnage, a 2011 movie, and it begins quite simply with a certain sequence happening in a garden, a kid's playground, and one child hits another with a stick. This all happens without any sound during the opening credits and then seamlessly enters into the two sets of parents of these two kids trying to amicably resolve, in a way, what happened. Uh, can you guess which are the two couples here, i.e., who's married to whom and whose child is whom? I mean, I've seen this movie a couple of times, and this color coding just hit me while looking at this photograph.
A verbal dispute in Brooklyn Bridge Park. Zachary Cowan, armed with a stick, struck our son, Ethan Longstreet, in the face.
Armed?
You don't like armed? Michael, what can we say?
Carrying, carrying a stick, all right?
Carrying, yeah.
Carrying a stick.
And that's how it begins. Nice, amicable, civilized. And then, as the movie unfolds, and you can kind of see how it pans out, this is, by the way, a quote in the film. I believe in the god of carnage, the god whose rules been unchallenged since time immemorial. And this poster with these varying expressions does it justice. It's a 2011 movie directed by Roman Polanski. The play is by Yasmina Reza, who's also done the screenplay here. And it stars the inimitable Christoph Waltz, Jodie Foster, Kate Winslet, and John C. Reilly. I've kind of deliberately kept a slightly unkempt look as well, given the kind of carnage I've been through since last night. Nothing physical, but complete mental trauma. Getting better now, and that's why I decided to put my energies into doing yet another review. By the way, the movie is shot on one location. I think along with 12 Angry Men, one of my favorite one location films. And it's apparently shot in real time, i.e., the characters play and get into the skin of the character as it unfolds. The etymology of this lovely word carnage is quite interesting as well. As an aside, it went through a dip in terms of its usage, and now this word is picking up again, a kind of the sign of times that we live in, the world we are living in right now as well. Couple one, Jodie Foster and John C. Reilly. Jodie Foster is this liberal who kind of is into art. She's writing a book about the sufferings in Africa, uh, and cares or feels or etc. etc. Um, John C. Reilly, affable as always. I mean, he plays this role amazingly well. It's like second skin to him, whether it's a movie like Kong, Skull Island, or Holmes and Watson, or even sci-fi like Guardians of the Galaxy. This guy pulls it off every time incredibly well. He's a simple person. He has no airs, or at least that's what it looks like. Couple two, Kate Winslet is an investment banker, though we don't see too much about her work kind of get men, but she's the epitome of grace and dignity and, dressed well and one of the little la-di-das, right? And Christoph Waltz is in some kind of legal consultancy, and we get to see a lot of his work as kind of the movie progresses. What happens? Well, there are multiple times when people are about to leave, and then for some reason or the other, they come back. I have to admit, not every time does it make sense that they come back, or for the reasons that they specified, they would come back, given that there is an emergency, at least on somebody's part. But there's coffee, there's a work emergency, there's a medical treatment for somebody going on, there's a certain cobbler, a dish, there's an upset stomach, and discussions that these two couples have is obviously about kids and parenting, but then also plumbing and Darfur. There's a hamster, there's tulips, and of course, there's art.
A maniac.
Zachary is not a maniac.
Yes, he is.
Alan, why are you saying that?
He's a maniac. Look, can you hear me now?
You better watch it.
They're both horrible.
What the hell are we doing here?
I hope you're kidding.
You think my son is a snitch?
I don't think anything.
Well, if you don't think anything, don't say anything.
The discussion gets heated up, and the couple's inner dynamics come out too. I mean, everybody first, the two couples seem so solid, and then chinks start to appear when one goes against the other or the topic comes up. And Jodie Foster plays this woman who's really wound up tight, who can't believe the rest of the world doesn't see things the way she does. And her nerves kind of, the veins throb, the nerve, this thing, and with the pairing of John C. Reilly, it's just perfect. This is a fascinating couple as well, because they have a very nice nickname for each other, which again gets a lot of discussion. And there's madness that happens, and there's stuff that happens between them, and which comes out where like one of them can't stand this about the other, etc., etc. And then while all this is happening, there are different gangs that form. Sometimes it's the men who bond, especially over a certain 18-year-old scotch, which is fantastic. Sometimes the women gang up. Sometimes it's Christoph Waltz and Jodie Foster, who, by the way, right from the beginning don't seem to get along sometimes, but they piece together on something. It's just fascinating to see how between these four people, the kind of dynamics change over time.
Way to go! You killed that hamster.
What you did to that hamster was wrong. You can't deny.
You're blowing this all out of proportion!
I don't get drunk.
I feel like I'm gonna vomit again.
Huge turnoff.
Get a couple of drinks in her and bam!
I mean, if this doesn't make you want to see this movie, it's incredible. It just builds, and you're dragged into it almost like a voyeur. You feel kind of guilty watching it, but you're on edge. You don't know what's going to happen next in some ways. And I have to say, everybody is perfect in this movie, right? And one of the favorite games that I play with my kids is about if we did an Indian remake, what would, who would we cast, etc. And I think I pretty much have the first three. But this guy, Christoph Waltz, with just his tone, with just the way he speaks, there's sometimes a little menace that he brings to his words while he's saying normal words. I don't know how he does it, but he does it consistently in almost every movie that he's been in. I mean, we all know certain scenes from other films. And in this movie, again, he's just perfect. And for this particular role, I really don't know who would you cast from the Hindi film industry.
She's not telling you the real secret.
Let him taste it.
Very good. Excuse me.
Yeah? Undesirable side effects. Basically, you look like you're drunk.
I really don't know who would pull that off. Let's see. I would love to know your thoughts about this movie, and please, you just have to simply watch it. Carnage. Let me know what you think.